largest push muscles in your upper body, and when taking a closer look, we can divide it into 3 sections that include an upper, middle, and lower portion, all of which require slightly different exercises to build up and develop. And by developing a nice chest, you'll look stronger, more confident, and aesthetically pleasing. So you should be training your chest in a way that improves its shape, size, and strength, regardless of whether you can make it to the gym or not. So that's why I want to go over 9 of the best exercises you can do to develop your chest right at home without the use of any equipment. With that said, since we can't use heavier and heavier weight to progressively overload our in-home workouts, we still do want another path for progression. Otherwise, our bodies will quickly adapt and our results will plateau. So you can either go with higher reps, or you can use something like a book bag packed with heavy objects that will weigh you down to make the exercises more challenging. Either way, I'll go over exact sets and reps for each exercise at the end of the video. But right now, let's start with our first exercise, which is going to be the decline push-up. The decline push-up is a great exercise to help target the upper chest, shoulders, and triceps, and it's also a little more challenging than regular push-ups. To begin, you'll want to use some platform or a piece of furniture that you could put your feet up on. A couch, a chair, or even stairs will all work just fine. Start by standing a few feet in front of the platform. Bend down and plant your hands on the ground in line with your shoulders. Then place one foot on the platform at a time until you're in a decline position with your feet slightly higher than your head. Make sure you squeeze your core, your glutes, and your quads nice and tight to keep your hips from sinking down, and make sure that you keep your body in a relatively straight line from your heels all the way to the back of your head. Then bend your elbows and lower your chest to the floor before pressing your hands into the ground and returning back up into the original starting position with your elbows fully locked out. Then repeat for reps. Next, let's move on to chest dips. And don't worry, I know I said no equipment required, so I'm going to show you how to do these anywhere. All you need is 2 similar chairs that are about the same height. You can use one chair to do dips behind your back, but as I've said many times in the past, this exercise is very harmful for your shoulders. So we're going to take the 2 chairs and place them side by side, facing away from each other, so that you can get in the middle of both of the backrests. For added security, you can also place something heavy on each chair to keep them from tipping over, although with most chairs this won't be necessary. Begin the exercise by grabbing one chair in each hand, locking your elbows out, bending your knees, and raising your feet up off the ground so that you're elevated off the floor. To better target the chest, you'll want to remember to lean your upper body forward as you perform each rep. So from that locked out position, you'll want to bend your elbows and slowly lower yourself until you feel a nice stretch in your chest and shoulders. At this bottom portion, your shoulders should be about parallel with your elbows or a little lower than parallel, and your knees should be pretty close to the floor. Then simply press back up by extending your elbows until you're back to that original locked out position, and from there repeat for reps. Another great exercise for the pecs that you can do anywhere is the plate push-up. Now, if you have valve slides or furniture movers, it's even better. But if you don't, all you need are 2 paper plates to perform this exercise. And that's how we'll be doing it today. To begin, you're going to place the paper plates on a surface that'll allow them to slide. Both carpet and hardwood will work. Obviously, surfaces like rubber and concrete won't. Place your hands onto the paper plates that should be a little wider than shoulder width apart. Then get into a push-up position, and just like before, make sure that you brace your core and squeeze your glutes and quads so that your body is in a straight line. From there, bend your elbows and lower yourself down until your chest almost touches the floor. Then press yourself back up off the ground, and unlike a regular push-up, as you push off, you want to squeeze your chest and slide the plates in towards each other until your elbows are fully locked out. Then slide them back apart as you lower yourself down for your next rep, and then repeat for reps. This exercise is great because the main function of the chest is to horizontally adduct the arms or to bring them together, and the plates will allow us to mimic this motion due to the fact that we can use them to slide our hands together at the end of each rep. Now let's move on to the diamond push-up to help us target the triceps more as well as the inner chest. To begin, you're going to get into a plank position with your hands close together directly under your chest. You'll want your thumbs and your pointer fingers touching so that your hands form a triangle or a diamond shape. From there, while keeping your body in a straight line, bend your elbows and begin lowering yourself to the ground. While doing this, you want to make sure that you're keeping your elbows nice and tight to your rib cage. Do not flare your elbows out on this exercise. Lower yourself all the way down, and just before your chest hits the floor, press your body back up to the starting position and repeat for reps. For the next exercise, we're going to do plyometric push-ups with a slow negative. This is a great exercise to build up explosive strength without the use of weights. There are a few ways that you can do these, and each of them is progressively harder. For all of them though, you're going to start in a push-up position, slowly lower yourself down for a push-up, and then explode as hard as you can on the way up. You want your hands to come up off the floor, and if you're a beginner, you can just explode off the ground, then simply land back down and go into your next push-up. If you want to challenge yourself a little more, you can do a clap up by clapping your hands together in mid-air. And if you really want to challenge yourself, you can try clapping your hands behind your back instead. Moving on, we have the Spider-Man push-ups. To do Spider-Man push-ups, you'll start by getting into a push-up position on the ground. Then start lowering yourself down for what looks like a regular push-up, but as you go down, you want to open up your hip and bring one knee up to your elbow. Then push yourself back up and bring that leg back to meet the other one so that you're back in a regular push-up position. Then you're just going to repeat the same thing on the other side and alternate back and forth for reps. You'll quickly see that Spider-Man push-ups are more challenging than regular push-ups because when you bring one of your legs up towards your upper body, you're shifting more of your body weight onto your chest, shoulders, and triceps. So with this exercise, just like with plyometric push-ups, you won't have to do a very high rep count to start feeling that fatigue setting in. Another exercise that's more challenging than a regular push-up, and you can use it to target your upper chest and your shoulders more, is the pike push-up. However, we're going to add in a slight variation to give us a greater range of motion so we can really feel a nice stretch on every rep. You're going to set up 3 platforms that are about the same height. So for example, you could use 2 chairs and a couch or your stairs. Then you're going to place your feet on one platform and place each of your hands on the other 2 so that you're in an elevated push-up position. Then raise your hips up and get into a downward dog position. From there, you want to bend your elbows and lower yourself down slowly until you feel a nice stretch in your chest and shoulders. Then press yourself back up until you're back to that starting position and then repeat for reps. Now, if this is too difficult, you can of course perform this exercise on the ground where your head will limit your range of motion, but it will also make it a little easier. Another similar exercise that will work the entire chest is the dive bomber. For dive bombers, you won't need any platforms. You'll just once again get down on the ground in a downward dog position with your hips up in the air. Then you're going to lower yourself to the ground for what looks exactly like a pike push-up, but as you near the bottom of the movement and your chest comes closer and closer to the ground, you want to drop your hips to the ground and press your upper body up so you wind up in what looks like a cobra stretch. Hold that for a second and then reverse the entire motion by bending your elbows and lowering your upper body to the ground as you raise your hips back up into that downward dog position, and then press yourself up until your elbows are locked out. From there, just repeat for reps. Finally, the last exercise is going to be the offset push-up. Here you would simply use a short platform or a small object to raise one side up slightly higher than the other. You can use a stack of books or something like a basketball even, but either way, the exercise is performed the same. You would get into a push-up position with one hand on the ground and the other hand elevated on whatever object you're using. Then you would get into a push-up position, perform one push-up, and step over with your hands and switch sides. Then alternate back and forth for reps. By having one side elevated higher than the other, it'll force your shoulders, chest, and core to stabilize your body, and it'll create a longer range of motion on the side that's elevated, which will increase muscle activation. So those are the 9 best exercises you can do at home to get a great chest workout. Now let's quickly go over sets and reps. First, understand that there are a couple factors that will affect how many sets and reps you will need to make this effective for you. So a good place to start if you're doing this workout with no additional weight other than your body weight is to simply aim to go to failure on each set. And if you don't fail by 50 reps, then stop there. After each set, you'll take a 1 to 2 minute break and move on to the next exercise, again aiming for failure. After completing all 9 exercises, your chest, shoulders, and triceps should be toast. But if you really want to challenge yourself, you can repeat and go through all of them a second or even a third time. Keep in mind, if you're a beginner or if you're doing this workout with a ton of additional weight in a book bag, or if your body weight itself is on the heavier side of the spectrum, even 10 reps of each could provide a very challenging workout. As long as you're going to failure each set, you'll be on the right track. If you start to fail at under 10 reps at some point of the workout, make sure you finish out at least those 10 reps by dropping to your knees and finishing the set with push-ups on the knees. That about wraps it up, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you have, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon. Also, if you're looking for a done-for-you in-home workout program that's proven to work and requires zero trial and error, visit my website and get started with one of our programs. We have challenges that are designed to help you burn fat and build muscle in the shortest amount of time possible, and every challenge comes with an in-gym and a complete in-home workout plan. The workout plans also come with a full video exercise library so you're never left confused, as well as a customizable diet plan that can be based around your preferences. We offer plans for intermittent fasting, 1 meal a day, keto, carb cycling, vegan, and much more. Also, all of our programs come with a dedicated accountability coach that gets assigned to you to monitor your progress and make sure you're staying on track. To find out more, click the link below in the description, or you can visit my website directly at gravitytransformation.com. I'll see you guys soon.